Alright guys, we got a big day planned out in front of us, fingers crossed. We don't have any trouble. I got my instructions here, what I want to wear, run, where. Right now we're putting out a second shot of nitrogen. We're doing things a little different than we have in the past. We pulled our water trailer out. Won't be using our water trailer today instead of pumping out of the tanks. We got a big day ahead of us, and I think it'll speed the process up a little bit. I'll bring you back in about 30 seconds. Let's get after her. Just leave it out there on top of the hill and the road if you want to, Robert. That's up to you. I don't think he had his radio on. Maybe let me get out of his way. Maybe he won't get stuck. Look at him go. Freightliner power, old son. Whoa, Dylan. Whoa, Robert, what are you doing? I kind of got me an individual game plan figured out for each field. This is the same shot. We're going to be applying 15 gallons to the acre. That's going to put us roughly at 80 units for the year that we got out on this weight. We're going to be running a 3-shot program this year. So changing things up a little bit, and I'll tell you more about that in just a second or two. This big weight over here, we're gonna run a Palisade on today. So we got a big day in front of us. 210 acres of wheat to fertilize. We got 135 acres we're gonna run a fungicide on, early season fungicide, which will be 2 ounces of Topaz and 2 ounces of Preaxor, and then insecticide on. And a Palisade. And the Palisades to kind of control the height of the weight and prevent the weight from lodging. But while I'm driving, I think I've got this old John Deere sprayer figured out here now. So I plan on doing a lot more talking to y'all today and tell you what we're doing and why we're doing it, and kind of how a little better management has raised wheat yields on our farm. Man, I sure didn't know about that rig at first when we built it, but I absolutely love it now. That's one of the best things we ever did, was building that trailer. I absolutely love it. I didn't really like how long that trailer was, and now I love it, you know. But one thing that helped us is we got that sliding set of axles, so it pulls like a much shorter trailer. But I don't think we could deal with a shorter trailer. When we really get in the heat of the battle, we'll have 2 or 3 totes up there, and you lose your room pretty fast. Well, I've got the first field run, and it ran good. I mean, I believe it was just a hair dryer than the last time we ran. Yeah, my pump get charged up here. Got to change my fields. And this is flat ground, and I just put weight on it more or less. It's always a booger to get planted in the spring, and we want to add a little tilt back to the soil. So it needs some straw to go back in the ground. It needs some residue on it. Well, maybe I'm where I can talk now. I got this old 4630 stretched out here. Pretty pleased with how this wheat looks on this wet ground. We got a pothole or 2. I mean, that's to be expected. This is some old white nature dirt, and like I said, we're just trying to put some residue in it. The way I look at it, it's a cover crop that I can make money off of. It's kind of the way I look at wheat on this ground. It really ain't, by definition, suited for wheat, but we've kind of found us a program that'll work on this wet nature ground. We're not expecting super high yields off of it, but where I'm seeing my biggest benefit is in the corn yields the next year. I really see my corn yields pick up behind double crop wheat and soybeans on this wetter nature ground. I guess it's just something about putting some residue back in the ground and getting some fluff in that ground that has been making a big difference for us. So what we're doing today is I'm putting out my second shot of nitrogen. And you're like, well, no, isn't that all you put out is 2 shots? Well, that has been the case in the past. But we are trying to up our management game. This year I've been looking a whole lot more at staging of weight, trying to make more timely applications of products. And last year we put out 120 units of nitrogen, and we made the best weight that I've ever made. But with that good weight came some management issues. One thing, it made a ton of straw. A buttload of straw. And that gave us, that gave us some planting issues. One thing I want to talk about though is uniformity in weight. That right there is the best looking weight I've got so far. It's behind, but I want you to look how uniform it is. And that's what you want to see in weight. And one thing we're trying to do with this application is even this weight up. I'm varying the amounts of nitrogen across the field. So as far as actual product, we are putting 10 gallons to the acre of 28,004 nitrogen. But I blended it with some water. My reasoning is that with my stream bore nozzles, I haven't been able, if I get below 12.5 gallons to the acre, I really have a hard time keeping my rate. So I'm wanting to make sure my rate is uniform. So we're applying around 15 gallons to the acre. And 10 of that is 28,004, and 5 of that is water. But we are varying those rates, and I'm putting out anywhere from 13 gallons to 17 gallons. I've changed my way of thinking a little bit this year. In the past, we've cut back on these wet spots on the nitrogen and up our nitrogen on, the hills and stuff. But I've kind of done a little reading, and I've done some thinking on the subject. Well, the weight on the hills is making good, and we're pushing our nitrogen enough that weight is getting down on us. So this year, what I'm trying is these wetter areas of the soil, of the ground, these wetter areas of the field, I've actually been applying more nitrogen. That's our 17 gallon to the acre rate. And the spots that's good and green, well, they're getting their nitrogen, and it's obvious they're getting nitrogen because they're good and green. So what we're trying to do is concentrate this nitrogen a little more in these wetter areas, whereas maybe with that higher concentration of nitrogen, the wheat can more readily take up the nitrogen, and it helps combat some of those wetter areas of the field. And on and why I am running 3 shots of nitrogen is just trying to be more efficient with my nitrogen use. Our first shot was to promote tillering, and we varied our rates of nitrogen. We varied our rates of nitrogen anywhere from 12.5 to 17 gallons an acre, and that wasn't cut with any water. That was just straight product. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to even this weight up a little bit. Right now we're in that stage where, if anybody's familiar with the feet scale, our big weight is on, feet 5, which is done tillering, and the plant is standing strongly erect. All the tillers are standing strongly erect. They're not spread out. So that's kind of the stage where we're setting our setting how big our head is going to be on that weight. So we don't want it to be deficient in anything. We want it to think that it can put a big old head on that weight. And then our third shot of nitrogen, it will probably be putting on in, I'm going to say about 2 to 3 weeks. That's going to be our shot for grain field. That's going to take it out through grain field. We're just trying to keep it healthy until it's ready to do its thing. We've been having a lot of wet weather, so I'm trying to help it combat that wetness we've been having. A lot of people have been worried about their nitrogen applications, losing nitrogen to leaching. Well, that is one thing this 3-shot program is going to allow us to do. That's going to allow us that if we lose any nitrogen, to address that in that 3rd shot, and kind of let us see our yield potential. I know one thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to get my darn track hoe home and track around this field and get some trees out of the field. Me and my neighbor need to get together, and we need to just put some fence pole stuff there on the line, and me and him both. He's got a track hoe too. Me and him both just go down that fence row and just take the rest of them darn trees out. This year we've done something a little different on our stabilizer program. I've always run Agritane. I've always put a stabilizer in it. Whether it's January or July, I've always put a stabilizer in it. But this year we're using a newer one from Precision. It's called Trident. And it's supposed to help you combat all 3 forms of nitrogen loss. You got volatilization, denitrification, and leaching. The two I'm most concerned about is volatilization and leaching. That's my two biggest concerns on my farm as far as nitrogen losses. But the Trident is supposed to protect against nitrogen losses, and I believe it is working. O'Bine Co-op, when they brought it out here, they pre-treated it for me. I didn't have to mess with it. They just they poured it in the tank and ran it down the road and tried to get it good and sloshed up. Pumped it in my tank for me.
Dylan's out here spraying to let y'all get a glimpse of that. I guess I can turn this nozzles around for him. Getting all of his computers set up, field view. Just a glimpse into the future. Well, there he goes. I think he said he sprayed 166 acres this morning. I think he started a little after 9. About 12:30 when we went and ate lunch, and sprayed 166 acres. So I think he is getting comfortable with the machine.